At 6 p.m., Chef Peter opens the lowboy and knows the shift just turned. No salmon, cream almost gone, herbs running low. And in less than 20 minutes, a private 12-top is sitting down with a request already waiting at the pass. One guest wants a custom vegetarian plate. Not just no meat. Something fast, something repeatable, something good enough that nobody at the table feels like they got the backup option. The ticket printer is still spitting. The line is already tightening. And one bad decision here does not just slow service. It exposes the whole kitchen. Peter reaches for his prep pad, but stops, then grabs his phone instead. And that is the reason this shift does not come apart. Peter is 34, head chef of a busy dinner kitchen where the standards are high, the team is lean, and missing one thing usually costs you 3 more. And tonight started badly. One prep cook called in sick, the produce order came short, lunch service burned through more stock than expected, and now dinner is coming in with just enough missing to make everything slower. That is how a kitchen slips. Not from one disaster, but from too many small delays in a row. And tonight, Peter is not using AI to cook. He is using it to think faster before hesitation starts costing service. And the first problem is already here. He needs a vegetarian plate that can survive a real rush. But before we begin, you are watching Everyday AI, where we show how ordinary people can use powerful AI tools to save time, work smarter, and solve frustrating everyday problems. No hype, no confusing tech talk, just practical AI that actually helps. At 6 p.m., Peter does the fastest stock check of his night. He has many items, enough to build a dish, but not enough time to invent one cleanly while tickets are already starting to stack. A server leans into the pass. "Do we have the vegetarian special yet?" Peter says, 2 minutes. He does not. Because this is where kitchens lose time. Not on cooking, on thinking in circles. Can the line repeat it? Can it plate fast? Will it look deliberate? He wipes his hands, opens Supercook in his phone, and enters exactly what he has. The first results are usable, but wrong. Too home kitchen, too much like something edible, not something the pass can trust. So he tightens the search. Now one direction stands out. Roasted cauliflower, crisp chickpeas, a lemon yogurt element, layered vegetables. Not the finished dish, but just enough direction to stop wasting time. Peter locks in, and now the plate starts forming. One test plate hits the pass. Peter looks at it. No, too pale, too safe, too rushed. Back in the oven. More color, more edge, more contrast. Second plate comes back. Now it works. Now it looks like it belongs. The table has not sat yet. The line has a plate they can repeat. And Peter has just saved himself 15 minutes of indecision. But service does not care that one problem got solved. At 6:30 p.m., the board starts stacking. 2 strip loins, 3 pastas, 4 starters, the first order from the 12-top. This is where service stops feeling busy and starts feeling blurry. Not because one task is impossible, because the next 5 arrive before the last one is finished. And Peter can feel it building. Steak temperatures, vegetarian pickups, sauce levels, plate counts, pasta station slipping, large table pacing. One wrong call here and the whole line slows down. And that is how a strong service quietly falls apart. During a short gap while a pan reheats, Peter opens Goblin Tools. Not for ideas, for order. He opens Magic To Do and types, "Dinner rush, one prep cook absent, need next 20 minutes organized. Priorities, 12-top pacing, vegetarian special, steaks, pasta behind, garnish support." The first output is too broad, so he tightens it. Break next 20 minutes into short kitchen actions. Fire 12-top smoothly. Keep steak and pasta moving. Assign support. Prevent vegetarian special delay. Now the output is right. Light the stove to fire the 12-top smoothly. Keep the steak and pasta moving in their respective pans. Monitor the vegetarian special to ensure it is ready on time, etc. That is what he needs, not theory. Calls. He locks the phone and starts firing instructions, and within seconds, the line starts looking different. Less crossing, less overlap, cleaner movement, shorter calls. That is the payoff. Not that the app ran service. It did not. It stripped overload into actions fast enough to use before mistakes started multiplying. But then, the original problem comes back worse. Because at 7 p.m., the server from the private table steps to the pass and says the sentence every chef hates hearing mid-rush. They need one of those vegetarian plates without garlic, onion, or dairy. Peter does not answer right away. Because this is not just a modification, this is a reputation test. If that plate comes out obviously worse than the others, the whole table sees it. If it jams the line, everyone pays for it. And if it looks improvised, that becomes the thing they remember. He could say no, but people do not remember the easy order. They remember how the kitchen handled the difficult one. So he moves. First, Supercook. He removes garlic, onion, yogurt, feta, parmesan, and butter. Leaves, cauliflower, mushrooms, spinach, chickpeas, roasted peppers, lemon, rice, and vegetable stock. The results narrow fast. Then he opens Goblin Tools and types, "Quick kitchen checklist for 1 plate during service. Vegetarian, no garlic, no onion, no dairy, must visually match existing cauliflower special." The output comes back simple. Now he knows exactly what and in which order he needs to cook. He grabs a clean pan, fresh spoon, separate ladle, and most importantly, he keeps the same plate structure because the guest cannot get the problem version. He reduces vegetable stock with lemon until it turns glossy enough to replace the creamy sauce. First try, too thin. Second try, now it holds. Now it shines. Now it looks designed, not rescued. And that is the difference. Not whether the kitchen can technically modify a dish, whether the modified dish still carries confidence. The plate goes out in under 8 minutes. No jam at the pass, no visible panic, no weak compromise. And the moment that could have exposed the whole shift becomes the moment that proves the kitchen stayed in control. The guest loved the plate. Then another question follows. Is that vegetarian dish on the regular menu? It is not. 40 minutes earlier, it barely existed. By 9 p.m., the board finally starts thinning. The printer slows. The pans stack near dish. The noise drops back into rhythm. Peter is still tired, still short on stock, still down a prep cook. But the shift did not break where nights like this usually break. Not on cooking, on decision load. Supercook gave him direction before hesitation burned service time. And Goblin Tools turned mental clutter into usable actions before overloads spread across the line. Not glamorous, not magical, useful. And that is probably the most honest role for tools like these in a real kitchen. They do not replace judgment. They protect it when the room gets loud, the stock gets thin, and the next ticket is already printing before the last plate leaves the pass. Because kitchens rarely fall apart all at once. They fall apart one delayed decision at a time. And tonight, that visible collapse never came. So if you work in food, the real question is not whether a tool can do your job. It is whether it can help you stay sharp enough to do it well when the pressure hits all at once. Because in the end, the difference is not the tool. It is the moment you choose to use it. And if you want to see more real workflows like this, subscribe. See you in the next video.